Okay, it's as simple as this. You're not doing enough prep work. That's why your edges suck. So in this series, we're going to cover how to get that perfect edge finish. If this is your first time here, my name is Justin, and I run a company called Norfolk Handmade. We specialize in small batch, private label leather goods. Okay, that may be a little harsh, but it is true. Preparation is key. I've used 3 methods over the years. I'm going to show you those now. You can decide which one works best for you. So before we get going, all my tools and materials are listed below in the description. If you see anything in this video and you want it, check the links below. This preparation method occurs before you start your edge finishing process. I consider this a completely separate step, just like gluing. The purpose of this step is to get that edge perfectly clean and flat in preparation for that edge finishing process. The point here is to get rid of any excess glue, to get rid of any unevenness in the edge, and hopefully have it perfectly flat for that sanding and polishing process. So preparation method number 1, coarse sandpaper. So you can either use a single sheet like this wrapped around a block or using your hands, or you can use a coarse bit on your Dremel. I like this method when you're working around curves, like on the corner of a wallet or a curved pocket top, any place where it's not perfectly flat. Using the sandpaper just with your hands and having it wrapped between 2 fingers can really allow you to round over a curve nicely and get rid of stop or start marks from either your knife or your corner punch. The Dremel is really good if your edge is really uneven or there's a lot of excess glue. This method can be extremely fast, but it does have a tendency to mushroom over the edge quite a bit. So just be aware if you're using the Dremel, make sure you're using a nice light touch to round over that corner. Method number 2, small hand plane. I really like using this because you have a great deal of control over how much leather you actually take off. So you can take off a very small amount if you're just trying to remove any excess glue or unevenness in the edge. You can basically keep the dimensions of your wallet the same and just remove enough with this tool to get a nice clean, crisp edge. There's obviously a bit of a learning curve to use this tool in order to get it sharp, to get it set up, and to get comfortable with it. But I think once you do that, it's a really valuable tool to have in the edge finishing process. Method number 3, the skiving knife. So this method will absolutely get you the cleanest edge in preparation for your edge finishing. There's a few caveats to using this method though, and that's changing up your pattern. So you're going to need to add 2-3 mil to the edges of your patterns. You can then mark this line on your pattern with the dividers and then use your skiving knife to follow that mark. As I said, with this method, you're going to absolutely get the cleanest, flattest edge possible, and this method will probably set you up the best for a super clean, polished edge. The key to this method is obviously an incredibly sharp skiving knife and the skill to use it. So there is a bit of a learning curve to using this method, but once you've got it, it's invaluable. I personally like using this method with the bevel side facing the workpiece so that the flat side faces the outside. I then hold it on an angle and then pull straight towards me, and that gets me a nice clean result. You can also use it with the bevel side facing out, so you hold the blade perfectly straight up and down. I find this is a little more difficult as the handle itself can get in the way and I can't see my line quite as well. So I end up using all 3 of these methods depending on the wallet I'm working on. If I'm in a situation where I'm making a design that I haven't done before and I'm not quite sure about how the parts are all going to interact, I may leave a little extra and then trim off using the skiving knife that trim allowance. I'll use the hand plane if the edge is almost there and it just needs a tiny bit of refinement. That's where the hand plane really shines because you only need to take off a very small amount to get it perfect. The Dremel or hand sanding with a coarse grit is perfect for a very rough edge or to shape that edge so that it matches the curve of your pattern. So those are the 3 methods that I use to get a perfectly clean edge in preparation for my edge finishing. If you want to see any of these techniques done in depth, in detail, let me know in the comments below. and I can make a separate video dedicated just to that technique. I've also listed all the tools and materials that I use in this video and in my studio in the description below. Those are affiliate links. If you follow those links and make a purchase, I get a very small percentage of that, and that helps the channel quite a bit. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps a lot. If you've really liked it, click that bell icon to be notified when I post my next video, and share this video to any other leatherworking friends that you think this may help. And also check out my website, norfolkhandmade.com. I've got a bunch of free plans available under the community section, and I've got a ton of wallets in the ready to ship section. You can also follow me on Instagram, norfolk.handmade, to get daily updates of what I've got going on in the studio. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.